It is so nice being on the trail. I mean, so nice. I really am dreading going back to the roads, but I don't know. I think I'm just kind of want to err more on the side of caution, do as much trail riding as possible, but at the same time I still want to finish. I want to get to the East Coast by bike. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. I mean, it would be cool just to ride each state's longest or best trails and then just drive to the next state and do the same thing and not really worry about if it's connecting and that kind of thing. I don't know. Definitely super appreciative and thankful that I even had the opportunity that me and Tijana both do, to take the time off and do something like this. Also super appreciative of Tijana. She's been super helpful. She's been doing her own thing. I don't want to make it sound like she's following me in the vehicle. She's definitely like getting out and doing some stuff and seeing some different places and that kind of thing, but if I need something, she's there. She's willing to help me, willing to wake up and do breakfast or, set the camper up and break it down and all that stuff. And honestly, as well, I got super sick last week, and if it wasn't for her, I would have missed my best friend's wedding because I was out of it. She changed her flight had to buy me new clothes to wear for the rehearsal because we weren't going to have time to actually go home and get our clothes. She worked out like all the hotel stuff, the flights and all that, the cats. So also very thankful for her.
Today, not much to do today. We are in Omaha. Technically, we've made it to Iowa, but I had some stuff to do in Omaha. So yeah, there's a zoo and aquarium here. So I decided I would stop by. Then I have a few more errands to run. Had to order some stuff via Amazon locker. So gotta wait for that to be delivered. So let's see what this zoo has in store. I need to say hi. Hi there. Okay, bye-bye. This is a pretty cool exhibit. It's called the Desert Dome.
All right, we're done. I think we did like 45 miles. We were shooting for 56. Kind of forgot about the time change, so didn't want to ride another hour in the dark. Sun's just setting. So yeah, TJ's like 2 minutes away. We're gonna get some dinner, hopefully get into the campground and that's right. Up until now, we've avoided, sometimes nearly, a lot of snakes. We've seen way more snakes than days we've been biking. Most of them dead, not all of them. Today, we've ran over 2 alive. You can't just, with the sun and the shade and trees and leaves and sticks that have fallen, it's just super hard to see. But anyways, we're about to hop off this trail and be on the road. Not worried about traffic. Yeah, I know this isn't going to show up the best, but see if I can zoom in a little bit. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hills you can see. All pretty steep. Passed through a super small town, like we've seen hundreds before. Not a single store or gas station open. And all of a sudden, there was traffic, crazy traffic. I don't know where it was coming from, where it was going. Wasn't really a shoulder. The shoulder was the rumble strip. All right, we're just down the road from TJ. I would have to hop back on a busy road to get to her, so she's going to come pick me up. We came kind of close to having an incident. There was a truck coming behind me. It wasn't moving over, so we rode the bike off the road. There wasn't a shoulder. It was gravel, like thick, big gravel. And then another car was coming, the opposite direction. There was a very large rock that we hit, like this, except, about the size of a baseball. As we were riding, it shot our wheel this way, which was towards the road. 2 things could have happened. One, if we weren't able to very, very quickly jerk back, we would have just ridden the bike onto the road and gotten hit by that truck for sure. Or it could have also just bucked us off the seat and we would have landed somewhere around the edge of the road. Probably 50-50 chance that we get hit, considering there was another car coming the other direction. And so that's when I, even though we weren't on the road, like the cars aren't slowing down, one small mistake, can, knock you off the bike. We haven't wrecked yet, but that was the closest we've come, and we've had some very close calls just hitting different things or, loose gravel or whatever. That was as close as we've come to wrecking, and it could have resulted in catastrophic events. So, yeah. Haven't been entirely truthful with anyone, including TJ or myself, on how dangerous it's been. That was a pretty close call. We had another very close call the second week. I mean, the truck mirror brushed the jacket I was wearing on the second week, going 80 miles an hour. But there's been a lot of things that could have went wrong, in an instant that that I haven't talked about. You know, one, because I don't want TJ or friends and family, which the majority of people watching this are friends and family, to worry. Um, but it's something that I've been worried about basically since that close call the second week. Statistically speaking, something bad would happen if we just continue. Anyways, if you're sticking around and watching this, thanks, very much appreciated. Um, and like I said, we'll see what tomorrow brings. All right, we are in Pleasant Hill, Missouri, right outside of Kansas City, also Missouri. Okay, we're about to hop on the Rock Island Trail. Here we are. We're going here, and this intersects with the Katy Trail. So it's 46 miles, I guess, to the Katy Trail, and then the Katy Trail is going to take us across the state of Missouri. It's pretty early. TJ's dropped me off and going to Kansas City to play pickleball with a group that she met yesterday. I am super tired. Also feeling pretty nauseous. I think we're just going to have a little lay down on the bench here for a little while till we feel better, and then start the ride. So on the trail, I'm shooting for 70 miles a day. I don't know if we're going to do that. It's going to depend on what time I actually get started. Yeah, I just don't feel good. But I've got a bike, so yeah. Oh, also, I left my camera in the RV, and not going to call TJ because she's already probably going to be late to her pickleball meetup. So it's just going to be us on the phone today. All right, we haven't really recorded today because we don't have our camera. TJ just found it, so that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, not much to report. On the Katy Trail, that's what it looks like. That's what it's looked like for the past 50 miles. Got another like 15 to go. Pretty good conditions overall. Tomorrow and the next day is going to be super cold, like 30s. So yeah, that's it. Happy Saturday. All right, guys, just thought I'd try to explain what's going on. So yeah, we decided we're done with the road. Too dangerous. We are going to do trails only for the rest of the trip. We are over halfway. We've got about 1,390 miles to go. So I'll try to do as close to that as possible on trail. So just kind of letting you know where we're at. Since we've come back from the wedding, we left Omaha on the Wabash Trace Nature Trail, ended up in Maryville, somewhere around here. From there, we were going to be riding road, essentially down to Columbia. Instead, we drove down just outside of Kansas City and picked up a trail that we otherwise were not going to have been riding.
And now we are here in Sedalia, Missouri. And we will continue on the Katy Trail to Columbia, where we were originally going to get on it, and over to St. Louis, and also a little past on some trails that are going, um, the opposite way out of St. Louis. There's also a major trail that we are going to be riding from Cincinnati to Columbus and from Pittsburgh down to DC, and we'll obviously keep those. Now, the question is, what do we do in this gap and in this gap? But the good news is that's kind of all we have to figure out. Illinois and Indiana both have fairly extensive trail system. Obviously, it's not going to connect um, in a nice, perfect route like we would prefer, but it is what it is. We're going to do around the same amount of miles in both Illinois and Indiana, and then also figure out something, later on for this section of Ohio. But otherwise, we will be continuing as planned. I think the Pittsburgh to DC is the Great Allegheny Passageway and Canal in Ohio Trail, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 300 miles. Not sure Cincinnati Columbus. I know it's over 100. And then the Katy Trail is about 300. So over half of what we were going to be doing was already trail in this section of the trip. We're just making it all trail. So yeah, that's where we are. We didn't ride today because it was in the 30s and the wind was blowing crazy. It's also going to be in the 30s tomorrow, but the wind isn't going to be as bad. So we'll pick back up tomorrow. We should be in St. Louis in 3 days. So that's going to be Wednesday. Um, and then, yeah, from there, we'll, in between now and St. Louis, we'll figure out what we're going to do in Illinois and Indiana and go from there.